Do you ever wonder how big medical breakthroughs actually happen? It all starts with an idea. Just one question that sparks something bigger. Simple, right? Not quite. See, in reality, ideas alone don't change lives. Research does. And research, well, that needs funding. That's where the GI Research Foundation comes in. We are nimble. We take risks on bold new ideas. And we're not so big that funding gets stuck in red tape. We're independent, fast-moving, and committed to getting scientists the funding they need to turn big ideas into big discoveries and real treatments.
Perianal Crohn's disease is a very common complication of Crohn's disease. It affects about 25% of all Crohn's disease patients. It can be incredibly painful and debilitating and remains really challenging to treat. The research that the GI Research Foundation is funding has a chance to revolutionize how we manage patients with Crohn's disease. If we are successful, we'll be able to prevent people from ever developing this horrible complication. I don't think that research like mine would have been possible anywhere else.
At the GI Research Foundation, we kickstart groundbreaking research with seed funding. We invest in cutting-edge technology and equipment. We sustain one of the largest biospecimen registries in the country. With your support, research moves forward and lives are changed.
Unfortunately, the incidence and prevalence of inflammatory bowel disease is on the rise, particularly in our pediatric population. There are millions of children that are affected. A lot of my research is focused on the use of intestinal ultrasound for pediatric patients. We've actually only used adult data and extrapolated those values to children, which those of us who scan children know they're not accurate values. So the research has really been groundbreaking in terms of establishing those values for kids.
When you donate, you're doing more than giving money. You're creating real change. You're fueling an innovation incubator, empowering researchers to push boundaries, test bold theories, and develop life-changing therapies for Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, liver diseases, GI cancers, celiac disease, obesity, and more. These are critical studies that might not get funding elsewhere, but with your help, they have a real chance to transform lives.
The GI Research Foundation funded our proposal to acquire histotripsy, a novel, new, groundbreaking technology. It's a completely non-invasive robotic therapy to treat liver cancer using ultrasound technology. We have been very fortunate that GI Research Foundation is one of the few foundations that accepts proposals to acquire new technologies like histotripsy, which is a pretty expensive technology and required a lot of capital investment for us to obtain. This project would absolutely not be possible without funding. In the last decade, we've seen a significant rise in GI cancers, particularly within young people. Especially in the last 5 years, the competitive landscape for getting funding has gotten significantly harder. It's very important when you find partners who are interested in advancing the research mission. Without critical technologies, research cannot happen.
The best part? It works. Research we fund attracts millions in major grants, leading to clinical trials, new treatments, and real breakthroughs. What starts here doesn't stay here. It grows, it scales, and it changes lives. Waiting years for funding and approval simply isn't an option for the millions suffering from digestive diseases. With your support, promising ideas can move beyond the lab. Ideas progress with speed and efficiency and lead to real treatments.
The patient suffering from an illness is at the center of everything we do. We're really at the cutting edge where it's up to us, and I feel a very strong responsibility that we challenge the status quo every single day and say, what can we do tomorrow that would be better than what we did today? If the University of Chicago and the people here that are working together can't solve some of these problems with the GI Research Foundation helping them, who else will?